A man spent years rearranging his apartment. He bought new furniture when the old felt wrong. He repainted walls when the color didn't suit his mood. He moved to different neighborhoods, searching for the right atmosphere. Each change brought temporary relief, a brief sense that things were finally falling into place. But within weeks, the dissatisfaction returned. The new couch felt uncomfortable. The fresh paint looked dull. The neighborhood had flaws he hadn't noticed before. One evening, exhausted from yet another rearrangement, he sat in the middle of his living room and realized, no matter how much he changed the space, the restlessness he felt wasn't coming from the room, it was coming from him. We spend enormous energy trying to fix the external world. We believe that if we just get the right job, the right relationship, the right living situation, the right amount of money, then we'll finally be at peace. And so we rearrange, we optimize, we upgrade. We control what we can control, our schedules, our environments, our possessions, hoping that the perfect external arrangement will create the internal state we're searching for. But the control we have over the external world is limited, temporary, and often completely illusory. You can organize your life down to the smallest detail, and someone else's decision will disrupt it. You can work hard to build something, and circumstances beyond your control will change it. You can try to manage how people see you, and they'll think what they think regardless. The external world is fluid, unpredictable, fundamentally outside your grasp. And the more you try to control it, the more you realize you can't. The Buddhist teaching points to this clearly. The teaching on the 8 worldly winds, gain and loss, praise and blame, fame and disrepute, pleasure and pain, reminds us that external conditions are constantly shifting. They blow in and out of your life without regard for your preferences. And if your peace depends on keeping those conditions stable, you'll never be at peace, because stability in the external world is not something you can create. It's not something anyone can create. The Taoist understanding goes deeper. Lao Tzu teaches that trying to control the world is like trying to improve the universe. It can't be done. The world has its own nature, its own flow, its own rhythms, and when you try to force it into the shape you want, you create friction, you exhaust yourself, you make things worse. But when you stop trying to control what was never yours to control, and instead work with what is, everything becomes simpler. So where does real control live? Not outside, inside. You can't control whether someone loves you, but you can control whether you speak with kindness. You can't control whether you get the job, but you can control the effort and integrity you bring to the work. You can't control outcomes, but you can control your response to outcomes. And that response, that inner posture, is where your actual power lives. This is what the teaching means when it speaks of inner mastery. Not mastery over the world, but mastery over yourself, your thoughts, your reactions, your way of meeting what arises. When you're grounded internally, external circumstances lose their grip on you. They still happen, they still affect you, but they don't define you, because your sense of stability isn't dependent on things going your way. It's rooted in something deeper. The Zen tradition speaks of Fudoshin, immovable mind, not a mind that's rigid or unyielding, but a mind that remains centered regardless of what's happening around it. The storm can rage, and the mind stays calm. The situation can shift, and the mind adapts without collapsing. This isn't something you achieve by controlling the storm. It's something you cultivate by no longer needing the storm to stop. But we resist this, because focusing inward feels harder than rearranging the outside. It's easier to blame circumstances than to examine your relationship to them. It's easier to believe that if you just fix this one external thing, everything will be better. And so we keep trying. We keep adjusting. We keep believing that control over the world is possible if we just work hard enough, plan well enough, manage carefully enough. But it's not. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you can redirect your energy toward what actually works, cultivating inner clarity, inner resilience, inner peace, not as a way to escape the world, but as a way to meet it without being destroyed by it. This doesn't mean you stop taking action. It doesn't mean you become passive or indifferent to your circumstances. You can still work to improve your situation. You can still make choices that align with your values. You can still care about outcomes, but you do it from a different place. Not from the desperate need to control, but from the grounded intention to respond skillfully. When you try to fix everything outside, you're chasing an illusion. Because even when you succeed temporarily, the external world keeps changing. The job you worked so hard to get becomes unfulfilling. The relationship you fought to maintain shifts. The possessions you accumulated lose their appeal. And you're back where you started, searching for the next external fix. But when you turn inward, when you work on your own mind, your own heart, your own capacity to remain steady, that work accumulates. It builds. It becomes a foundation that doesn't collapse when circumstances change. And from that foundation, you can engage with the world without needing it to be different than it is. The teaching is simple but difficult. Stop trying to control what you can't. Start working with what you can. And what you can control is always only internal. Your attention, your response, your inner state. Everything else, the world, other people, outcomes will do what it does. And you can meet it from a place of centeredness, or you can keep exhausting yourself trying to make it behave. The man stopped rearranging his apartment. The furniture stayed where it was, but something inside him shifted. And for the first time in years, the room felt like enough. If you choose to follow this channel, it truly helps me keep creating and improving these reflections. And if not, that's completely okay. I'm grateful you spent this time here. I'll see you tomorrow in the next episode. Until then, I wish you a calm and peaceful day.